of disagreement on this. So I think this is definitely something to watch. I did not expect it really to happen so fast because we have had 2 escalations. Like, from what I can understand, I mean, I was like, when the war, I believe, I was born literally the year the war began, and in 2003, the Iraq War. And I mean, from what I understand, they tried a little bit harder in George Bush's time than they tried now. Like, they're pretty much done. Like, they literally did a Gulf of Tonkin redux here. They're just, like, copying their dad's homework and handing it. Not even their brother's homework. They're copying their dad's homework, handing it in, and saying, okay, now can we start a war? Please, 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 pretty please, pretty please. I want to start with the war on so bad. Please, please, please. But, like, it is... So it's very scary. It's very scary because I did not expect it to happen so fast. Like, we were like, I was like, oh, I mean, it could be. I was talking to people that I know about this subject, and I was saying, it's possible that we could go to war with Iran. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Bolton, but Trump doesn't seem too into it. I don't really know. But again, like, literally the next night, we're about to launch a missile. Like, you never know. And maybe the hot Pentagon generals, as Trump likes to call them, got to Trump on this one. Thank God. Thank God someone's kind of calming him down on this. But let's just hope he listens to Tucker Carlson over Brian Kilmeade. The fate of millions of American lives and Iranian lives, let's just remember that too for once, may depend on it. So, yeah, let's just hope he stays calm about this. Yeah, Brian Kilmeade, speaking of Brian, has said he's not a big fan. He's not a big fan of what Trump did here. Let's take a listen.
North Korea is watching. All our enemies are watching.
Yeah, here's the thing. They are literally watching you renege on deals that you sign with them to make peace in the area. Like, you can't expect North Korea to go into a deal to try and make peace. They wouldn't trust you if they saw what you did with Iran by making a deal. Next guy gets in, rip it up, and say, you know what, we're going to war now, just because I want to. Screw you. Like, that's such a dumb way to look at things. It's typical of Brian Kilmeade, though.
Of course, Assad is watching, and for 7 weeks, nothing but provocations. There's a price to pay for inaction, and that says a lot. And I think that we have put suffocating sanctions on them, and every day that passes by, they get weaker. However, every day that passes by, when they blow up 4 tankers and we do nothing, when they blow up our drone that cost $130 million and we do nothing, we know it's not going to end there. So at some point in the Middle East, no action looks...
I love how one drone costs $130 million, by the way.
It's like weakness, and weakness begets more attacks.
Yeah, I suppose you could flip that on its head and say that all the actions that we've seen from Iran suggest that the U.S. actions are working. That these
economic action.
Yes, and perhaps this is Iran really backed into a corner. President Trump has made it clear he wants one thing. He wants to come back to the table. He wants to talk again about a better deal, a deal which involves a lot more than the JCPOA did.
Yeah, like, again, how in the goddamn world are you expecting any rational person to agree to this? Like, you want to say you sign a deal, the next guy comes in and rips up the deal and says, now we're doing a different deal. Like, what world does that work? Like, I know it's hard because from the American perspective, we obviously want America to do well, right? But, like, think about it from any rational person. If you're anyone in the Iranian government, like, why would you want to do this? Like, it's so stupid. Like, it's unbelievable. And no country should ever do with America. Like, if I were leader of any other country, America said, okay, let's do a deal. Like, you may get nuclear weapons. Let's have a deal. And we will, again, we'll try and negotiate. But, like, yeah, I give up my nuclear weapons. You can just check me all you want. But please, don't threaten to go to war with me. Like, I don't want your nukes pointed at me, because with the people you have in government, it's very possible you could launch them. Like, it's very disturbing, very disturbing. So, it's unclear for the clip whether or not Comey knows that 4 oil tankers allegedly attacked and sabotaged in the region were not owned or operated by U.S. companies, but yes, it appears that Iran did shoot down American drones. It was expensive. The drone was flying over international waters per the U.S., or maybe over Iranian airspace according to the Iranians, so we don't really know about that. I mean, if you want to go trust the U.S. government, especially this U.S. government, go ahead. That's your stupid move and your idiotic loss, but go ahead. I mean, it's very tough. And the thing is, it's going to be a slippery slope. These two, immigration and Iran, those are the two issues that could make Trump better than Bush or make Trump far worse than Bush. Because if he goes badly on both of them, it could be more catastrophic. Because what Iran is going to do with America, what Iran is going to do to America's military, American lives, and what America is going to do to Iranian soldiers, it is going to be tough. It's going to be very, very tough. Look at what Iraq did to America's military. Look at what Iran did, and it is it's an interesting thought to see what could happen when Hezbollah and all them get in there. And meanwhile, our good allies in the region are executing boys for protests they did when they were 10. So it's very disturbing stuff. We're all in a very great situation. That's for sure. In the span of a few hours now, Tiffany Caban pulled endorsements from across the Democratic political spectrum, beginning with the shocking backing of the New York Times on Tuesday night. That was followed by Wednesday from public support from top 2020 progressive presidential candidates like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, sparking a brief tussle over who is following whom and jumping into the Queens District Attorney race. But to put an explanation mark on how ideologically wide Caban's support now runs, she sat down day after her endorsement for the New York Times to tape an interview with Chapo Trap House, which, if you know anything about Chapo Trap House and know anything about the New York Times, you can know they are about as wide a difference on the left as you could possibly get. Like, they're literally called themselves the dirtbag left. They're socialists all the way. I'm big fans of them. Please have me on. Please, one of you guys come on Newsflash, by the way. We love Chapo Trap House here. But Tiffany Caban running for DA in Queens. Her primary is this Tuesday. So shout out to Tiffany. Let's go, Tiffany. Let's blow some horns for Tiffany Mother Bleepin' Caban. Yeah, Tiffany Caban, absolutely great candidate. But anyway, yeah, so Tiffany, she is running. She is pushing out there. She wants wide reform, pledging not to prosecute minor drug crimes or offenses related to sex work, and cash bail for all offenses, revisit old sentences and broadly end prosecutions of offenses related to poverty. Her machine-backed opponent is Melinda Katz, largely supported by real estate interests. The June 25th election comes almost a year to the day after the primary contest between AOC and Joe Crowley in a congressional district that encompasses part of Queens. In something of a rematch, too, Ocasio has endorsed Caban, while Crowley, nicknamed quote-unquote the King of Queens, is supporting Katz. So it will be the kind of part 2, round 2 of the Crowley-Ocasio fight. And personally, I think that, and I know, I'm biased here. I just blew 3 air horns for Tiffany Caban, but I seriously think she's going to be able to pull this off. I'm going to be surprised if she doesn't, because, I mean, I'm certainly isolated, but the New York Times endorsed her. That's pretty big. That's pretty big, folks. And, I mean, Tiffany, you got canvassing operation probably up the yin-yang, and Tiffany Caban, I think, is going to win this for sure. For sure. She's going to win it, in my opinion. Anyway, yeah, a public defender, Caban, is running in the image of Philadelphia DA Larry Krasner and has been endorsed by him, as well as Real Justice PAC, the group that helped orchestrate Krasner's rise. She has the backing of the Working Families Party, Democratic Socialists of America, and a slew of other local community groups, Our Revolution, I believe, as well. The New York Times endorsement of Caban was unsurprisingly muted. The choice is difficult. The field of candidates is big but disappointing. Tiffany Caban, a 31-year-old public defender, is the best pick, saying the Times, if not in particularly ringing terms. no matter. In fact, the endorsement will soon be arriving in the mailboxes throughout Queens, helping shore up support for normie voters who might otherwise be skeptical of what appears to be a pretty radical platform. And the cash bail? What the hell? What? Like, that's crazy. No, we can't do that. But no, we can. New York Times said we can. So let's do it. Let's do it, folks. Let's fucking do it. I am so hyped, excuse my mouth there, for Tiffany Caban. Let's give a shout out for Tiffany! Let's go. June 25th, primary. If you're in Queens, you better go vote for Tiffany Caban. Anyway, let's go. Shout out to that. But all right, we're gonna end the show on Eliot Engel, the top Democrat on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, is facing two primary challenges who launched campaigns featuring a number of progressive policy priorities. Jamal Bowman, a middle school principal and an educator. My newsflash special endorsement shouts to Jamal Bowman. Newsflash special endorsement. And Andom Gregorius, a special education teacher, both narrowed in on Engel's foreign policy, which is to the right of most Democrats, and in their challenges to the 16-term representative. In the race, New York 16th districts, the top priority for Justice Democrats. Shout out to Justice Democrats there, the group that helped bring AOC to Congress. It's the 2020 primary challenge the group has waded into. The group has had several conversations with Gregorius, a 33-year-old educator from Mount Vernon, New York, before deciding to endorse Bowman, who announced his campaign on Tuesday. Engel, who was first elected to represent New York's 19th district in 1988, is out of touch with an increasingly diverse electorate, as critics say, pointing out to the fact that the 16th district has a majority non-white working-class population. So, I know a little bit about this district. It is just to give you a little bit of a profile of it, it is kind of a tale of two cities here, I guess you could say. I'm going to pull up the map of it right now. It's going to give you a little bit of an overview of what's going on in this district. You got areas that are a lot minority, especially Hispanic, in this 16th district, which is pretty crucial and good for people like Jamal Bowman, who obviously, not obviously, but he is African American, so that could be helpful for him. But he also has kind of an upper class area in the northeastern corner of the district. We got areas like New Rochelle, Yonkers. Those are, they're not very upper class communities. They're not dirt poor communities, but they're pretty solidly middle class, working class communities, which could be very helpful for Bowman. That's a large portion of his district. You got New Rochelle, you got White Plains. I'm sure a fair bit in there. Those aren't like high-rolling suburban communities like you get a little bit up north. But there is just a little blip on the northeastern corner where you have Rye, Harrison, I think Portchester a little bit as well, which is a lot more upper class, a lot more wealthy, which could fare a little bit better for Eliot Engel. So it's going to be interesting to see how this primary plays out. Obviously, a lot more time to go, but we're jumping on the Bowman train early. So hopefully the best for Bowman. And shout out to our good friend James Stanley of JSPN. He's in that district as well. So if you care at all about Justice Democrats, and progressive priorities being passed, head on over to James Stanley's Polititalk page, Spreaker.com/Polititalk, and comment on any one of his recent episodes if you can. Vote for Jamal. Vote for Jamal. Just comment, vote for Jamal, vote for Jamal, vote for Jamal, because we got to spread the word, because he is in that district. Obviously, he can't vote, but he can tell people to vote. Vote Jamal, vote Jamal, vote Jamal. Let him know. And on that note, that's our show for you today. We are back tomorrow with a special guest to make the case against Joseph Biden, the one true priority for progressives this 2020 presidential election cycle.